Some stories are written in ink. Others, well, they're written in blood. But this story, it's written in the facets of a single, absolutely legendary diamond. Today, we're diving into the history of the Koh-i-Noor, the Mountain of Light, a jewel whose journey is really a story of empires rising and falling, all at the point of a sword. Wow. If the space between them were to be filled with gold, all would not equal the value of the Koh-i-Noor. I mean, just think about that for a second. Those are the words of an Afghan queen, and she wasn't just talking about a pretty rock. She was talking about a symbol of power so huge, so immense, that it was literally considered priceless. And it's exactly that belief that has fueled centuries of bloodshed over who gets to own it. And this, right here, is the absolute heart of the Koh-i-Noor's story. I want you to really let this sink in. Throughout its entire recorded history, this diamond has never once been bought or sold. Not a single time. It has only ever been taken, conquered. It's a spoil of war, ripped from the ashes of fallen cities and dying empires. All right, so where does a jewel like this even come from? Well, just like the diamond itself, its origin story has two very different sides to it. One is pure myth, and the other, well, that's actual history. Okay, so the origin story is, well, it's a bit of a mystery, honestly. On one hand, you've got this incredible Hindu legend that traces it back 5,000 years. It's believed to be the mythical Simantaka jewel, a gift from Lord Krishna himself. But then, on the other hand, you have recorded history. And history tells us it first showed up in the 13th century, pulled right out of the ground from the famous Koh-i-Noor mines in India. And when it first came out of those mines, it was an absolute monster. We're talking about an original uncut stone believed to have weighed a staggering 793 carats. Let me just put that in perspective for you. That made it by a huge margin the largest diamond anyone in the world had ever seen. But today it weighs just 105.6 carats. So what happened? Where did the rest of it go? I mean, how does more than 85% of the world's biggest diamond just disappear? Well, the answer to that is a really crucial and pretty violent part of its story. So, from the moment it was found, this diamond just did not stay put. It became this incredible symbol of power, sort of a wandering jewel, passed from one conquering ruler to the next. And its path was just one of constant, brutal conquest. So first, it's with the Kakatiya dynasty. Then, around 1310, it's seized by the Delhi Sultanate. Fast forward to 1526, and it falls into the hands of Babur, the guy who founded the mighty Mughal Empire. But its time with the Mughals came to a fiery end in 1739. That's when the Persian invader Nader Shah completely sacked Delhi and claimed the diamond, along with the legendary peacock throne, as his ultimate prize. But here's the thing. Finding the diamond wasn't so easy. The legend goes that the Mughal emperor had hidden it deep inside the folds of his turban. Nader Shah somehow found this out and came up with this incredibly cunning plan. He threw a huge party, and as a sign of brotherhood, he suggested they exchange turbans. I mean, what could the emperor do? He was totally trapped. Refusing would have been a massive insult, so he was forced to hand over his turban, and you guessed it, the priceless jewel tucked inside. And they say that when the diamond finally fell out of that turban, Nader Shah was just stunned by its brilliance. He supposedly shouted out, "Koh-i-Noor," which is Persian for Mountain of Light. And well, that name has stuck ever since. So, as this diamond leaves this trail of chaos and fallen rulers behind it, this powerful legend starts to grow. The idea that the Koh-i-Noor is cursed. And the curse goes something like this. Any man who owns it would own the world, but he'd also lose his life. And when you look at the history, all these collapsed dynasties, and even Nader Shah himself going mad before being assassinated by his own men, it's a legend that's pretty hard to just brush off, right? Okay, so after Nader Shah's death, the diamond takes a bit of a trip through Afghanistan before finally making its way back to India. And this time, it's going to become the most prized possession of the powerful, growing Sikh Empire. So the diamond makes its way back to India in 1813, and here's how it happened. An exiled Afghan ruler comes to the court of the incredible Sikh leader, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, basically begging for protection. After a lot of back and forth, in exchange for safety and military help, the diamond gets handed over to the Maharaja. And Ranjit Singh absolutely treasured it. He would wear it proudly on an armband, showing it off as the ultimate symbol of his empire's power. But whether you believe in the curse or just plain old political instability, trouble followed. after Ranjit Singh died in 1839, the Sikh empire just fell into chaos. We're talking about a brutal power struggle that saw 4 different rulers get assassinated in just 4 years. It was a total mess. And who was left in charge of this massive, crumbling empire? His youngest son, a little boy who was only 5 years old, Dalip Singh. And this power vacuum, this complete chaos, it was the exact opening that the expanding British East India Company had been looking for. This leads us to probably the most controversial chapter in the Diamond story, its journey from Lahore all the way to London. So, after winning the Anglo-Sikh Wars and defeating the now fracturing Sikh Empire, the British just went ahead and annexed the entire Punjab region. A document called the Treaty of Lahore was signed, and one of its articles specifically stated that the young Maharaja Dalip Singh shall surrender the Koh-i-Noor to the Queen of England. Think about that, a surrender forced on a child king. But here's a twist. When the diamond finally got to London, it was kind of a letdown. Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband, thought its traditional Indian cut looked dull. It didn't have that sparkle he was expecting. So, what did he do? He ordered it to be completely recut in the modern European style. It was this intense process that took 38 days. And remember that weight difference we talked about? This is where it happened. They shaved off a massive amount of the stone, leaving us with the much smaller, but definitely more sparkly, 105.6 carat diamond we know today. And it seems the British royal family took that old curse very, very seriously. They listened to the legend, the one that said the diamond brings ruin to men but good fortune to women. And because of that, a new rule was put in place. Only a queen or a queen consort would ever wear the Koh-i-Noor. And to this day, no male ruler in Britain has ever worn it. And that brings us right up to today. The diamond is currently sitting in the Tower of London, but believe me, its story is far from over. The question of who really owns it has become a huge geopolitical fight. Right now, you've got at least 4 different countries officially demanding it back. There's India, arguing that it's where the diamond came from and spent most of its history. There's Pakistan, which sees itself as the successor to the Sikh Empire based in Lahore. You've got Iran, who claims it because of Nader Shah's conquest. And even Afghanistan wants it because they held it for a while under the Durrani dynasty. The thing is, every single one of them has a legitimate historical claim. So what about the UK? Well, the British government's position has been pretty consistent and very firm. They maintain that the diamond was acquired legally under the Treaty of Lahore, and its return is completely non-negotiable. As far as they're concerned, it's now a part of Britain's heritage. End of story. So at the end of the day, the Koh-i-Noor is so much more than just a stone, right? It's a symbol of conquest, it's a living archive of history, and it's a major flashpoint for national pride. And all of that leaves us with one final, really complicated question. When a nation's history is captured inside a jewel, who actually gets to wear it?